One of the worst problems bedeviling Nigerian is corruption. And at a mind blowing level, it's disturbing. And at a very disturbing level. Around the world, nations are racing towards artificial intelligence, transforming healthcare, education, agriculture, manufacturing, and even national security. Robotics is redefining productivity. Scientific research is solving national problems once thought impossible in different countries. While other countries are investing in innovation because they understand that the wealth of this 21st century will not simply just come from having those resources. It will come from knowledge, technology, and human capital. But somewhere in Africa, Nigeria to be precise, that is supposed to be a role model is always submerged in in-depth corruption and inefficiency. Every now and then, too often, national conversations are usually dominated by allegations of corruption, abandonment of public projects. Recently, I'm sure you've seen IMF um, canceling the remaining loan they gave to Nigeria because of ineffective usage of the ones that have been released. And they also released a statement saying a certain percentage of national budget is being mismanaged. Misuse of public resources, poor governance, and political conflict. The truth is, whether these allegations are true or not, the repeated cycle of scandals is worrisome and it weakens public confidence in any government, not just this present government. Any form of government who tread this path will lead to public distrust. And this has real consequence. It's causing real fatigue on the people, especially people of good conscience. Now, every naira, single naira that is lost to corruption is supposed to be money that can build a classroom, that can build modern facilities, a hospital that was never built. Every naira that is stolen will transform to a hospital that is not built, road that will keep budgeting fund that we never see. That is the implication of corruption. Road left unfinished, businesses that are never created, and a young person's dream that is delayed, if not even cancelled, not just delayed. Most of the time it's delayed, some other time it is cancelled. Corruption is not just merely about stealing funds, it is the theft of opportunities. It steals from children who deserve quality education. It steals from entrepreneurs who deserve reliable electricity to carry out their innovation. It steals from graduates who perform very well in school, but still comes out with nothing to be engaged in. It steals from patients waiting for medical care. Ultimately, it steals from the future. Now, I just want to share the um, corruption index. This is from Transparency International. This is the corruption index of Nigeria currently. Nigeria is ranking 26 out of 100. That is the score. Rank is 142 out of 182 countries, meaning we are only simply ahead of just 40 countries. We are the most 140 out of 182. Our position is 142 in terms of corruption. This is from International Transparency International. Now, I just want to analyze this. Okay, let's also check from this is from trading economics. Nigeria is the 142 least corrupt country out of 180 countries that we have. So according to the 2025 Corruption Perception Index reported by Transparency International, corruption rank in Nigeria is average at this from 1996, since 20 years ago. So we've not had the guts to tame this beast that is destroying our nation. So you can see. So this is the breakdown. In terms of capacity utilization, only about 57%. Inventories, corruption index 26. 26 means 0 means highly corrupt. 100 means you are free from corruption. So 26 is closer to 0, which means highly corrupt. In terms of rank, 142. So before 140, we even went down. 2 more countries stepped out and went 2 steps behind. In terms of industrial production, look at it in terms of percentage. Our industrial production, previously 2.08, we just will left. But what is this in terms of percent? This is F9. F9 pass mark is 50 above. That is for some courses C. And in major serious courses like medicine, it is 60 or 17 above. That is pass mark. So if we really mean a serious business in Nigeria, we should not even be getting a C, not talk about an F. This is critical F. Meaning we are in a very critical situation. Industrial production, manufacturing production, 1.3%. Mining production, 8.89%. So this is what Nigeria is currently trending in. This is another corruption perception from Transparency International, 26. So this is not good indicator for us. Now, I just wanted to watch a video pertaining to the corruption case of Prince Adeyemi, of a fake agency that was created. According to the federal government, this agency is fake. But the question we keep asking is, how was one man able to infiltrate this high secure sector? It means there is there is problem with the check and balances of these agencies. We cannot even talk about the rubber stamp national legislative that we have, both the Senate and the lower house. They've shown a high level of irresponsibility. Now, how was an agent created to the point that they were giving an office in the National Secretariat, registered an account with CBN, operating then with civil service, federal civil service, even transferring staffs to him? So how were all of these things orchestrated? Question we do ask and we never find answer. That is why public trust in Nigeria is eroding, because the government choose to keep silent in very silent matter, important matter, than to talk, than to address us. Even when they talk lies. When they talk lies. When they don't talk, they still talk lies. And people have some persons defend this level, this crass irresponsibility. Now, I just want us to listen to what has recently happened to him. Then when we come back, we will wrap up.
The presidency cannot command full public confidence. Others insist the issue is not who investigates, but whether the investigation.
So right now, court has ordered his arrest due to forgery. Now, one man cannot carry out this atrocity alone. It is not possible for one person to infiltrate the government at this highest level of government, to infiltrate the government like this. Who are those responsible? Now, according to him, while he was first arrested, that was when the budget from his agency was sent to the National Assembly, it means it wasn't even part of those who prepared the budget. Who prepared? This is very easy to analyze, to catch whoever did this. Who prepared that budget? Is it difficult? Are they ghosts? Did ghosts prepare the budget that we cannot trail a simple budget? Okay, who wrote this? Who brought this? Well, let's just continue listening to it.
Is allowed to proceed independently, professionally, and without political interference. With more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the country director of ActionAid Nigeria, Dr. Andrew Mamedu, and by the veteran journalist, respected Arise political analyst, and former chairman of the board of editorial board of Daily Trust newspaper, Mahmood Jega. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for coming in. Let me come to you first, Mahmood. What's your reaction to the swift arrest of Mr. Adeyemi? I mean, he was flushed out from hiding and picked up barely a couple of hours after an arrest warrant was issued by a judge.
It was quite un-Nigerian police-like, because there are warrants for the arrest of many people, including some of who have been roaming around for many months and years without being arrested. But this one, literally within minutes of the arrest order, it looks like they were tracking him. I knew exactly where he was, and he was supposed to be in court for arraignment, and for some reason he and the other two defendants were not there. And then the magistrate gave the order, and within minutes he was arrested. Now,
so in effect, he jumped bail because he was on bail. And I mean, the whole point of bail is that you turn up in court when you're
on
asked
the day
to turn up. Yeah.
Exactly. And now the arraignment has been fixed for 30th September. So it's like he's going to be in the hands of the police.
Until then. I mean, it's not really funny because anyone's fate in those circumstances is always, I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
But Dr. Mamedu, is this really about one man allegedly inventing a government agency?
And allowed this man,
it's extraordinary, isn't
300 staff, including 10 directors.
I think as Andrew Mamedu said, this is not a story of individual fraud.
No.
This is a story of institutional collapse.
That's really what
it's extraordinary. And the president
said, I still reiterate it. It is one issue, but how do we deal with it systemically and make sure that it does not come currently?
Yes, and Mahmood, I mean, the point here is that sometimes justice isn't about being done. It's about being seen to be done. What are your thoughts? Because some people have suggested that leaving the chief of staff in office whilst he's effectively being investigated, leaving him with all the powers of office, rather undermines the whole point. Others are saying, no, the man is innocent until proven guilty. Where do you stand on that?
Civil service.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how much does public confidence matter as much as whatever findings eventually emerge?
The presidency, public confidence is absolutely necessary because however thoroughly you do the job of the investigation, if the public is not convinced and they believe that the agency that did it was somehow under some influence, then honestly, the political and ethical and the legal purpose is not served. You see, ideally, if things were working well, the National Assembly handle this matter. It can conduct a public inquiry, which is actually better than the ICPC secret investigation. Why not call all these officials? You who gave the waiver, you come and testify publicly before a
on camera.
On camera with television showing.
Yep.
How did you give the waiver? Did you ask because there is a presidential ban? Did you call State House and get clearance before you allow him to, you, CBN and others that opened accounts, who gave you SGF's office that allocated this office? All these people should testify before, but unfortunately right now, the National Assembly does not have the credibility to do that. In fact, they pointedly said that they will not do the investigation because the presidency has asked ICPC to handle. Now, the problem with the ICPC, as you said, is statutory, it is its work. But when the presidency has already come to a conclusion, its public statements have cleared the chief of staff and said that it is this Adeyemi.
That rather undermines the investigation, doesn't it?
Exactly. That is why, if, for example, ICPC were to come with the same conclusion,
it is very unfortunate that we have an irresponsible House of Assembly or Senate members. These are people that we elected to represent us, meaning our interest. So I wonder whose interest are they really protecting there in the National House of Assembly? Budget was passed. They passed budget before the executive finally signs and put it to law. So if there is a breach, they are even the first persons to even, because they have the authority to call anyone to come and answer questions. So how come they are now relying on the executive to do their duty for them? Now they are not doing anything because they feel government has told ICPC, and ICPC itself, let us even go into all of this. They call themselves independent, but where is the independence in all of this? If you call yourself you're an independent agency, how come you need the federal government clearance before you start up investigation? And these senators, I want everyone to be watching them. These guys are not supposed to be returned. They should not find themselves back to that house again, because they are not performing what they are not doing their job. And if you don't do your job, go home. Okay, let's continue.
People will say, what do you expect? Because the presidency had already said. And the police have now captured this man and arraigned him, even though they did that several months ago.
So that is presuming his guilt.
Why not wait if ICPC has only 1 month to conclude its investigation?
Before you then proceed.
Before you do to prosecute. But when you grab the man now, he
that kind of overrides
what?
Because I mean, if he was clear on that, then he wouldn't have.
But then the person that gave that statement and says that, oh, he's not guilty, should have also come out and say, okay, we retract this statement. I think there is nothing wrong. A leader can make mistakes.
That would have been good faith.
Yeah, good faith. We made mistake. We have looked at it and we are withdrawing this. And we're saying the president has given an order, but we made a mistake and we're withdrawing this. And we're saying let the investigation, the ICPC, do their investigation thoroughly. And on the other hand, maybe the chief of staff would have said, you know what? I'm going to step aside and watch this investigation. Yes, in Nigeria, we say we don't resign.
He could have done that.
He could have as well done that and said,
okay,
Mr. President, please allow me.
And that gives the president some breathing space.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Mahmood, you are one of the most respected journalists in this country. You're a political analyst, current affairs. I mean, former chairman of the editorial board of one of the top newspapers in Nigeria. Politically speaking, what might be the fallout from all of this for the government in power?
If the result of the investigation conducted by ICPC or anyone else is such that it fuels public cynicism instead of dispelling the whole scandal, then the government will really have blundered big time. Because you see, the matter you said about suspension, actually in the public service rules, if anybody is accused of something, he is suspended. And that does not mean he's sacked or he's guilty or anything, but just to make room for unfettered investigation, because especially if you are sitting on a very powerful position and an agency that is subordinate to your position is conducting the investigation, it's like saying investigate the Inspector General of Police, ask police to investigate the IG while he's sitting.
They wouldn't have the guts
right
to
there.
do it, would they?
Exactly. So the biggest fallout would be to issue a report at the end of 30 days and say, for example, so people have been found not guilty, that it is only this Adeyemi, and people say, so what do you expect? You already prejudged. And don't forget.
But if people are saying that it's already been that means that people are going against that finding. what might be the political implications for the government, because you've got elections approaching.
Well, you can, like Dr. said, you can do a probe that will satisfy public curiosity.
Yeah.
But that will not be by ICPC. It must be by an independent panel.
Okay.
Find one retired judge, highly respected one, put some NGO people and some retired security people, satisfy the, as you said, the main issue is justice should be seen to be done. So even if you do it and people think it has not been done, then it has not served the purpose.
Indeed.
And you will reap the fruits later on.
Dr. Mamedu, beyond the sort of the nitty-gritty that we're talking about, every scandal should teach government something. What should this scandal teach the Nigerian government about appointments, about documentation, oversight, and internal controls?
A couple of things. One, how not to handle a case like this. So start, for instance, if an accusation is out, do not rush to issue a statement defending your official. So allow a thorough, proper investigation. We've had one too many of such cases. So this one teaches us how not to respond to such situation. The second one is how to strengthen our institutions and make sure that they are actually functioning and independent. Those that are supposed to be independent, allow them function. I think this is the strongest statement that this is teaching us, because all of these institutions are allowed to function independently, function how they ought to function. One or two of them would have picked this issue, right? So don't forget, there is a link of this agency to the one established by Buhari in 2019.
Yes, there is. Yes.
There is a link. So that was what was used to mirror or to hide this new one that was introduced. So clearly, if the agencies were doing their job, including or especially the National Assembly. So if the executive does anything and they go scot-free with it, we expect that the National Assembly should be able to...
Now, pertaining to what this doctor just said, that this agency they call fake was shielded under an agency that existed during Buhari's former president's tenure. It means this is a network of persons. It means people who worked for Buhari were likely be part of the chain of this new corruption, because they had a previous knowledge of what happened, and so they could have used that knowledge of, okay, an agency is existing like this before, so let's use that to cover this so that it will not be like publicly known. It will still look as if the other one that is no longer effective, but the name is still there, because according to them, many agencies like that according to the government is no longer functioning, but they are hiding under other agencies with workers in the government's payroll. So this is a level of, as in, that if we don't even look at the corruption in Nigeria, we don't even know the depth of it. But we just have to start from somewhere, because this is too deep. But we have to start from somewhere. So let's just finish the intervention. I can go to the next.
See into it. That is why they perform. So they are supposed to approve the budgets. They are supposed to go through the budget, the appropriation, and approve it. They are also supposed to provide oversight. So those responsibility of the National Assembly and all these agencies, it would then help us how to strengthen these agencies to carry out their responsibility in future.
Point. Mahmoud Jega, some people argue that Nigeria has created too many ministries, too many departments, agencies, committees, intervention programs, and that makes effective oversight almost impossible. Is this scandal actually the strongest argument yet for finally implementing the Oronsaye report?
Well, don't forget, the Oronsaye report was adopted by nearly 4 administrations, and it was never implemented, including the present administration. It was approved at a FEC meeting with some modifications, but 2 years later, for example, recently the president made some appointments of some heads of some agencies. And when I checked in the Orosanye report, including the white paper, those agencies were supposed to be scrapped or merged. You see, this problem that we are having, one senior civil servant told me that the government almost never scraps any agency that is created. He said, look, do you know that the war against indiscipline that was created by Buhari in 1984 is still there? It's a department now in the National
That is almost
Orientation.
laughable.
Honestly. And
goodness.
he said the agencies created by Mrs. Abacha, that family support and the family economy, they are still there. They are hiding in the Ministry of Women Affairs. But Oga Charles, there is something else. You know, this case has already involved the loss of one life. This man, Daramola, that was said to have died in a fire, is very important because according to this suspect who has been arrested, he was the main conduit. That it was him that was delivering the money. It's an allegation that he was the one who delivered the money and collected the appointment letter mysteriously. And the police is not saying, if you ask me, that should be the main.
So that is it. So many atrocities that different government commit. This is not just peculiar to this present government. It's a chain of network because it's like a chain reaction. One contribute to the other, they contribute to the other. And if we don't stop this reaction now, in 10 years from now, we will still be complaining. So that is why we are talking now. That is why we are shouting at the top of our voices. This should stop. Because like it's only a man that doesn't have foresight. Because people are planning, we have what we call short-term goals, medium-term goals, long-term goals. It's only a country that is visionless that will keep spending resources without accountability in this form. Because it's mind-blowing. There is no country that wants to grow that will be involved or indulged in this, where people can just come in, create fake agency, submit budget, money allocated to this. There is no system of checking whether it was really utilized or not utilized, whether it was utilized or not utilized. There is no penalty. Even when these cases are called out, there is no penalty for those who are culprits or those who are found wanting in this situation. As a result, people go free. In short, they won't want to do more because the benefit of indulging in this kind of heinous crime is just much. It's huge. It's huge. Okay, I will just show you more cases about how previous. This is how government from different government involved in different form of scandal, corruption in Nigeria. To the point that even the chief of justice, I mean the former attorney general of a nation is supposed to be the most upright person. Yet look at cases involving him recently. So, like as you can see on my screen, you see court orders final forfeiture of 48 properties by a so-called attorney general, former attorney general of the federation. All legal activities are under his ministry. The judiciary is under his ministry. Yet, look at the crime he himself has committed. As someone who knows the law, look at it. It means there is so much weakness in our law. For you to be an interpreter of the law, yet be involved in this high-level corruption, it means there are too many loopholes in our constitution, in our laws, that is making this individual to indulge in these disastrous activities, costing the nation, depriving people from getting good health, good jobs, good life. Now look at it. Dismissing Mr. Malami and others' objection to EFCC request for an order of final forfeiture, the judge held that the issue before the court was not who owns the property. Look at the case. How legitimate are the funds used to acquire the properties? So you can see, I'll be showing you The property is worth 180 billion. Some state government yearly budget is 400 billion. Yet one person, this is like half of a state budget. Someone who served in government is owning this amount. This is just a fraction of what we are complaining about. 180 billion properties. Calculation based on the value of EFCC attached to each. These include hotels, university, on public funds, malls, corporate entities, residential houses scattered in Abuja, Kaduna, Kano, Benin Kebbi, from where he is from. So this is how wicked, how dangerous, how heartless our leaders, those who we appoint to lead the country, this is how dangerous they've been. This is how they've been making the country dry. This is just 1 in a million, 1 in a fraction. Look at another amount, 212 billion. Alleging Mr. Malami acquired them with proceeds from unlawful activities. Look at it here. Proceed from unlawful activities while serving as Attorney General of the Federation between 2015 and 2023. Why we appoint this? Because we trust them to go do the job for us. Look at what they are doing to the people. Instead of serving, they are destroying. And sometimes this you will never know until they leave power. So even in this present government, there are still many forms of looting, siphoning public funds that you cannot even dig out. And they are becoming wiser because they are learning from the past. So some of them are stealing this money and they are cleaning the trail, meaning it will be difficult to trail how this money are being stolen. Proceed from unlawful activities. This is what the FCC said. How many more of these do we have? How many more? There is no proof of legitimacy. There can't be proof. It's just one of them. They can't be proof. Even Buhari himself, as there are many that served in that government, in Jonathan's government, and even in this government. That is why when Prince Adeyemi made this allegation, even though it has not been proven by the court, but there is element of truth each time you hear rumors of scandal, because we know Nigerians, we know what they can do, we know what public officials can do. That is why I'm angry that the president didn't even wait for the panel to finish their investigation. Is running to come and declare that his chief of staff is a good man. That is very wrong from a president. Very wrong. It means he is part of those destroying the country instead of repairing. In other countries, he would have resigned. Ministers in UK resigned. Prime Minister resigned. But in Nigeria, no. They stayed here, destroyed the country more. In another news, week in, week out, we keep hearing things. Minister of, it's like this APC is just association of just, whether it's past or present criminals, I will call them past and present criminals, because Malami is a past. But people are still in present criminals. Association of past and present criminals in Aso Rock, running the presidency like cabals. Umahi has been accused of so many things. Look at this week again, another thing happened. 2 young ladies from Kaduna State, Mary Habila and Mary Baski, left home and visited the country of David Umahi, present Minister of Work, in Uburu in Ebonyi State, where they spent the night or many nights. In the morning of 26th June, Habila Mary was found dead in her room. In her room. Question. Many questions again that were asked from this. So every week, things keep coming faster than solutions are coming. And as a result, we forget the one that's behind because more grievous atrocities keep coming out of this government. This is a present serving minister. The other lady has since disappeared. If this was a something that is not sketchy, fishy, if something is not fishy, this Mary would have run away. Sorry, I mean the other lady would have run away. Baski, Mary Baski, both of them are Mary Mary. Mary Baski, Mary Habila. Habila is dead, Baski ran away. She has not uttered a word about the death of her colleague or friend, and nobody knows where she is. This is Nigerian. And for the fact that this happened in the palace of a serving minister, it tells a lot. The mystery surrounding the death of Habila has become one of the biggest scandals this year. This is not just so every week, one scandal, the other, siphoning, dangerous activities happening, kidnapping, everything is happening. God, only you will give us rest soon from all of this atrocity that has befelled us. So we keep hearing now every information now, then this today, another one tomorrow. This today, another one tomorrow. Nigeria, despite it has young, talented populations in the world, imagine what the country would have been, assuming there is no corruption, assuming there is no stealing of public funds. Just imagine it. Just imagine the good roads. Just imagine we'll be rubbing shoulder with advanced countries like UK, US. We have the resources. We have the capacity. We have everything to be better than these countries we are talking about. Just imagine Nigeria without corruption. Rail network from one state to the other, connecting states, businesses running, mega cities, skyscrapers. Instead of running to Qatar or Dubai to go spend holidays, there are many places in Nigeria that would have been top notch with 5-star or 7-star facilities for you to enjoy in every holiday you want to enjoy, instead of taking that money and going to spend it in building other people's economy. Just imagine these resources that are properly utilized. The money they are stealing. Look at 212 billion. Do you know what that money can do? Do you know how many hospitals that money can build? Do you know how many roads that money can build? Do you know how many students that money can sponsor for research? Just imagine that this money is properly and redirected towards the intended purpose. And even to add research, because research is the bedrock. If you want to grow, you must do research. Innovations, quality education, and industrial development. Just imagine this money going into all of this. Imagine what Nigeria would have become by now. The future is possible. A better Nigeria is possible. But it requires more than hope. We need responsible leadership. In all front, responsible leadership, whether be political, whether it be agency, whether it be whichever sector, we need responsible leadership. But without religious aspect to responsible leadership. And this also requires informed citizens. That is why we do this, to inform you. Please stand to your right. Be upright. And institution that works. You heard from later, institution need to be truly independent. Truly independent. And it requires every Nigerian to reject that idea of corruption. It's just the way things are. Reject it. Reject it. We can be better. The future of Nigeria cannot be determined by just speeches alone. It will be determined by citizens. We must not endorse failure. We must not reinforce failure. Rather, we must cancel failure. Failure should be cancelled. The way we chased out good law because it wasn't performing well, we need to chase out this government too. And in short, if we have done this during Buhari's first tenure, assuming when Buhari was performing very poorly, the people had the temerity to chase him out the way we chased Goodluck, by now, maybe we would have changed 4 to 5 more persons. Then the power would have returned back to the people, because if the leaders know that the people are the one determining their stay in office, they will sit right. And until we get back our power, why? What do I mean by we get back our power? We are the one who put them in seat. Where election counts, vote counts. Where the person that the masses want to win. That is when power returns back to the people, and they will serve you well. But until then, if you keep collecting bribes, if they keep buying your vote, if you keep supporting failure, I'm sorry, we will not get to where we want to get to. So let us demand responsibility, competence, rather than mediocrity. Please aspire for truth more than propaganda. Innovation over stagnation. Service over self-interest. Political leaders. Leadership is all about service, not self-interest. If you want to go push your self-interest, stay back. Go home. Nigeria deserves better. Justice over impunity. We cannot tell about this. This is just too much. Impunity in Nigeria. That is why a whole Attorney General of the Federation can go on and steal this kind of amount, because there is impunity and because there is loopholes in our laws that these people are exploring and taking advantage of. Nigeria deserves better. And together, true lawful civil engagement, accountability, unwavering commitment to our common good, we can build a nation that the upcoming generation will be proud of to inherit. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria, and God bless everyone. Okay, please subscribe, like, share, make comment. Any suggestion, add it to it. Together we can grow as a community. Please like and subscribe to our channel. God bless.